Matrix Codes, Part 1. Are you ready to learn some truths that may shake up everything you've known so far? Everything you think you think. With your own head, but the truth is completely different. I warn you that this material in this video is not for those who are not ready to grasp and awaken their true thinking. Did you know that we all live in a matrix? Not a world with a screen or a robot, but a world that is built inside your mind every time you utter a word. So the matrix is not technology. The matrix works with codes. Matrix codes in your head are the words given to you. Words are language. Language is thought, and so you simply think what they want you to think, and not what you think you really think. So they create codes, and you just execute them without knowing it. So, this is the matrix in your head. We are not slaves to machines, but to word we do not understand. The words I use every day are codes. Some of them lead you towards yourself. Others take you away from it. What is a code? A code is a command, a word that when heard or spoken opens a window of thought. You think you're thinking, but you're actually following a program, like pressing a button on your phone and an app opens. The same thing happens in your brain. Say a word, and an entire reality is loaded. A way of thinking, a behavior, and you've arrived at the matrix. The distorted reality that you think is normal. Let's take an example for this. God. The word God is an execution code that loads an entire program into your brain. One of the oldest and strongest codes. God. As soon as I mention this word, a certain form comes to mind. This is a code loaded from childhood by the family unintentionally and by the system intentionally. A figure, a feeling, a fear, an invisible hand that decides everything. Man is born free and sees, tastes, and initially learns reality as he sees it. Until God gives him the code. You may be Muslim, Catholic, Orthodox, or non-religious, but the code you have been given is active. The code is inserted from the outside and operates without asking. What happens when you say God willed it? This way, you give up, you stop thinking, you don't look for solutions, you don't ask questions. You accept it because it was meant to be. This is a code to stop thought. A command that replaces searching with conviction. So you just run this code and you can't change it. This code is designed to stop your thinking and give you the thinking they want you to have. This thought is controlled. So, you're already in the matrix without even knowing it. Your worldview of everything that surrounds you, it is a deformed one, who has no connection to reality at all. These codes are actually viruses. Another code. Karma. Another code with a bright appearance, but with the same function. Karma, a word that most people do not understand, nor translate, nor experience. They only repeat. You ask what karma is, and here's where the miracle of the program happens. Those who use it don't know how to explain it, but they are nevertheless convinced that it is real. Because words are stronger when you don't understand them, but simply accept them. Karma tells you to be silent, to accept, without questioning, because you don't know what it is or how it works. But when something happens, it was karma. So don't complain, don't ask, don't change. Just accept it as it is. So you have a total blockage of thinking with your head. Here you become a member of the mind game, the matrix. So, as you understand, you wouldn't have this way of thinking until you were served from the outside. Until you were given the full code. The entire code is closed and you cannot change it, only execute it. So you have become a computer that executes the matrix codes and feeds the system. You think this is your opinion, but in fact it's not yours at all, but rather implanted in you. Karma as a word is found in Sanskrit, a technical language, created at the table that was not created, evolved, or spoken by any population. Originally, as a word, it simply meant movement. But some smart coders later gave this word a page from the back of a book so that you could memorize it and create this reality, this form of thinking in your head. Another, fate code, the same mechanism but in a different word. Fate, one of the most used codes in everyday language. A word that comes to mind whenever something goes wrong. It was my fate. You said it, and at that moment you stopped being responsible for your life. Because when fate speaks, you're no longer there. There is another who decides for you, another who is not seen, another who has no name, but commands you. And this code makes you think, because that's what code is. So there is an end to being executed. It's like clicking to open a photo, and the photo opens, and that's it. There is no more. So the fate code is equal to end of thought and reasoning. How to unlock by codes. Fortunately, any code can be locked, and you can begin to break free from the thought that has been inserted, planted, and installed in your head. Now listen carefully. If words are codes, then you must Understand before you speak. Don't utter a word you have felt. Don't use a concept that you didn't. Build yourself. Don't use words that you don't understand and that are and part of everyday human life, from the everyday life of the common man who created words that correspond to the reality he lived in for thousands of years. Don't let your thoughts go down paths that are not yours. Imaginary paths that lead you beyond what you can grasp. This is the beginning of leaving the matrix. Beginning of returning to yourself because you did not come here to execute the words of others, the thoughts of those who created them for you. You came to create meaning for yourself. So don't take anything that you don't catch yourself. So words that you don't understand. Because as soon as you ask for an explanation of the word you just press the button to install a code, a virus. That's just how it works. Words that have no meaning in any natural language like Albanian, and they try to explain them, so they are matrix codes. Their explanations are simply code execution. There is always an interpreter who installs the program in your head. Have you noticed that there are code interpreting preachers everywhere? So you just press buttons, ask questions, and you're immediately given the program. And once the program or virus is installed, it is difficult to uninstall. Remember it. That's not the words you say that program you. They are the words you don't understand, but you repeat without knowing it. Now we will look at some of the most prevalent codes in the mind of modern man. Codes that act like viruses to take over the brain, change reality, and say this is the only way. One of these codes is the holiness code. When someone says it's sacred, you stop thinking, because simple in the matrix doesn't mean valuable. It means don't touch it, don't analyze it, don't debunk it. Is an invisible wall that is placed around an idea, and whoever crosses this wall is considered guilty. The code word is a protective code for any concept that should not be revealed. It could be a doctrine, a story, a system. It's enough for them to call it sacred, and you accept it without understanding it. In reality, everything that is called sacred and forbidden and analyzed is a program, an installation in your brain that doesn't allow you to ask any questions. So, they gave you a sign from Albanian. You can exit this code in Albanian. A marked sign is something that has a mark placed on it to identify it as belonging to someone. So you admit that it belongs to someone. Another code is democracy. This is one of the most sophisticated ones. to say. You have the right to vote. You choose them. But they give you two names chosen by them, both with the same background, the same support, the same system. Democracy in the Matrix is the code that gives you the feeling of freedom, but without real freedom. It's a button that makes you feel like a participant, but in a game that you didn't write. Is it really a solution if every alternative has been served by others? Is it freedom if you're only allowed to choose between two options that you did not create? In the Matrix, democracy is a program that replaces revolution with a formula that captures the true voice with a ballot that gives the feeling of control but takes away its power. Other code, hell and heaven. This is the code that connects man to fear. Every action you take is no longer done out of conscience, but out of fear. Hell awaits you, heaven will reward you. This is the system of reward and punishment that turns people into beings who calculate rather than understand, who execute rather than think. This code is like a firewall for the program, one of the Matrix games. You don't do good because you feel it. It is out of fear. You don't avoid evil because you understand it, but because you fear it. This is the Matrix, where morality becomes a consideration. The naked truth is truly something that is not to be liked at all. That's why people who have seen it prefer not to introduce it to others. Therefore, there is also a fabricated lie, which is beautiful. This was the first part of a video series that we are following. We will delve deeper into what no one dares to tell you. Because no one likes the risk of everything collapsing and people waking up. See you in the second part where the mind can share, feel, and sense what has been put inside it and the ways to understand, prevent, and block what they think is unfathomable.